Welcome to Designing the Best You, a podcast hosted by board-certified holistic health practitioner, functional nutritionist, and autoimmune and trauma survivor, Vennessa McConkey. Vennessa focuses on holistic health, educating and empowering people to take charge of their own fatigue and pain during the in-between moments of life, while confidently owning their own health journey. It's so easy to feel like you're the only one struggling, and boy does Vennessa know. As a wife and mom of 3 young boys, whose body acted as if she had multiple autoimmune diseases because of the childhood trauma she'd endured, she knows exactly what it's like to lose yourself and life. She's here to share how she learned to cope with the many changes diseases brings and the things your doctor doesn't know or tell you. In her practice, Vennessa helps uncover the hidden stressors that are causing your body to be ill and correlates them to your life since birth. She believes in the test don't guess model, as so many health coaches and doctors just guess. Each week, we'll be focusing on the missing piece in the healing process from chronic conditions, typically hidden stressors, which includes past trauma. The mind-body connection is very real. We include conversations on metabolic and individualized nutrition, lifestyle, autoimmune disease, stress reduction, the power of the nervous system, and more. We bring on guests who share their stories of overcoming trauma, managing their chronic conditions naturally, as well as hearing Vennessa's story and tips from top practitioners and experts in the field of holistic health. Get ready to be blown away and start designing the best you.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Wow, it's so good to be back. What has it been? A year and a half since you guys have seen me on my channel, my YouTube channel, and heard me here on Designing the Best You. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. I am so incredibly blessed and honored to be serving you in a new season here. So many different ways that I'll be serving you too. Now as, oh, this is so hard to say out loud still after all these months, but now as a board-certified holistic health practitioner. What a journey it's been this past year, personally and professionally. If you guys are watching the YouTube channel here, welcome. If you're listening to any other platforms via podcasting, welcome. My goodness, unreal. You will see I have this fancy little, these Zoom backgrounds, like are kind of cool, but kind of weird. So if you see me moving, like you guys don't want to see my house. I don't have, yes, we all work from home these days, most of us, but you don't want to see the mess. Like I don't have an office corner really yet. So that's fine. But yeah, what a journey this past year, personally and professionally. So, and I'm going to be real here too, working from home. In a mostly virtual practice here. My kids, it's summertime as I'm recording these first episodes. You're going to hear some of the kids. You might hear whatever's going on outside. It's just reality. Okay. So I welcome the kids in, as always. So if you get to see them on the YouTube channel, if you get to hear them, it's life. And I'm all about being real and raw. And so with that too, today's episode, my goal is to share with you. Oh, and also too, I'm a big notes person. So you'll see me looking down and whatnot because I like to have notes. I just do. I don't want to miss things that I'm supposed to be sharing with you. So many of you, so let me go back here. Today's episode, my goal is to share with you what is new and part 1 of many parts of my story. So many of you have heard parts of my story the past couple of years, especially if you've been following me on social media. There's bits and pieces. We're going to put it all together. I am going to be giving you the real and the raw stuff. Okay. And I'm starting with my story, not because I'm like, hey, look at me, but it's important for you to understand who you are listening to before I start bringing on, tips and tricks and different practitioners and different stories from people who have been struggling and whatnot over the years. It's very important. For example, practitioners I've worked with in the past, they say, oh yeah, I know all about, as you guys, if you've listened to me before, Addison's disease when I was diagnosed. Well, do you? Because it's a rare condition. This was years ago when I was diagnosed. Really? Do you? Like, tell me, what do you know? Well, I've had like one patient. Oh, so you know all about it, right? So, but I want you guys to know who you're listening to. It's important, okay? We all connect with people that we can relate to, and we understand their story and why they're doing what they're doing. And that's what a lot of people on my podcast are going to be sharing too. Practitioners, well-known ones, therapists, you name it, they're going to be sharing their story, okay? So, but before we get started with what's new, as always, I want to encourage you that if anything in this episode or any other episode resonates with you, or you think can resonate with someone else, head to the links in the show notes to join our email list and communities. Hit the share button, hit the like button, all the things. It's so important to stay connected. As we've known these last few years, the goal has been to disconnect all of us. Well, we were designed for community. So let's focus on that. All right, let's dive in. So, where should I start? Let's start actually personally what's happened this past year. And I'll be sharing more on this specific, like the personal part of it in later episodes. But just the basics of this past year has been rough. It's been challenging. It's been eye-opening. It's been a part of my journey. And that's why I took a break professionally. And as my story unpacks here, the basics, though, is I grew up in the Chicagoland area. We moved to Arizona, had 3 kids lived there for 10, 11 years, and moved back to the Chicagoland area about a year and a half ago for some time with my parents, another set of months as an acting single mom. And then now we're back as a family unit with my husband, still in the Chicagoland area, dreading these humid summers again versus dry ones in Arizona. But, okay, whatever, right? But much more on all of this and the depths of it, because it is a part of my story and it is a part of my health journey in future episodes here, okay? So what also is in new here at Vennessa McConkey Coaching and Designing the Best You? Well, if you're on my email list, you already have the lowdown. So if you're not on there, get on there because you get things a lot faster that way and understand things there. But I do always share those things on my podcast episodes as well and on little snippets on social media. So go ahead and sign up for all that stuff. Follow me, all those things. But I worked for months and months and months and hours and hours as I was going through all the crap personally. But I was studying, doing practicals, case studies, reviewing labs, running labs, myself and other people being guinea pigs to become a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. Then I topped it off with becoming a board certified holistic health practitioner through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. So you're like, that was a mouthful. Yes, it is. It is. But what that means for you guys out there, anyone who's looking to work with me or understand whatever you're going through, I have more options on how to help you improve your health without the BS from all the specialists you're depending on, all the ones that you're waiting on for answers. How long does it wait? How long is the wait now to get into specialists, guys? Unless you have like a name or some like massively serious health condition. I don't know. I remember going to endocrinologists and it would take 6 months to get in their office. 6 months. Y'all, I'm not feeling good now, right? We're all about the now. But here's the thing is, and I'm not dogging, and when I speak, I'm not dogging any specialist. I'm not dogging anyone who has gone to, these longer term medical schools and stuff like that. They have their place here in society. Absolutely. But here's the thing is I test and I don't guess. I don't say, I've got a lot of clients who come to me like, I have X autoimmune condition. And I don't tell them, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're going to go to the autoimmune protocol diets. And this is what all the other people who have this thyroid condition do. No. Nope. It is highly personalized. Okay. And it's for a specific reason. We were very specifically designed to be who we are today. Okay. We were very specifically designed a combination of our lifestyle, our sleep habits, our environment, our family backgrounds, our like all these things, our genetics, like all those things, okay, combined makes us who each one of us is today. Okay, so 90% of the labs that I use with clients are drop shipped to your home. They're very simple. I have videos that I've done myself and on other people too, and they've done that walk you through and answer all your questions. I mean, it's pee on a stick, it's prick your finger quickly, it's, spit in a tube. Very simple, okay? So simple that my kids can do it, okay? And my kids right now are in elementary school, young elementary, okay? So what I do though is I interpret those lab results for you, put them in layman's terms for you, correlating them with your symptoms and your lifestyle and going all the way back to your childhood. Okay, I take every aspect of your life and health history. I validate your symptoms, okay? Symptoms are unfortunately, they're real. But here's the thing, is they're not normal. If you have symptoms, there's a problem going on. There is. I want you to be heard. How many times have we sat in offices and they're gotten the results or gone over the phone and like, oh yeah, you know what? Your lab results are normal. And you're like, but why do I feel like crap? Right? So I dive deep with you because here's the thing. I don't mess around. Your health and your life matters. From those of you who have listened to me for a while, I was in the corporate world in engineering and operations management and executive suites for a while. And then I took a sabbatical, we got pregnant, and I moved into career coaching, another business of mine. And I don't do that much anymore, to be honest with you, but I had about 87% of my clients had some kind of physical or mental health issues going on. Y'all, I get it. But here's the thing. When people are being placed in decision-making roles and they have serious physical and mental health issues, that matters. That matters. Okay? When we've got teachers at schools with health issues and they're trying to lead our kids when we're not there, that matters. We have large organizations making decisions for us in our governments and things like that. That matters. And if they aren't healthy enough to make those decisions because they have brain fog or they've got, diarrhea all the time or had constipation or whatever it may be going on, like that makes a world of difference in how they make decisions. So I had to put a halt on career coaching because I'm like, man, there's deeper issues going on. Okay. So what I do is I create a personalized, holistic protocol to heal that we tweak along the way. I look at our health journey as like a sailboat. Okay. You're going to have storms that come that you can't control. So you're going to have to adjust the sails. You're going to have great days where you don't need the sails as much, right? You're going to come along and there's going to be things that happen. You're going to have to adjust. Our bodies change. We get older. Women, we go through menopause. We have kids, like all those things. You're going to have to adjust the sails, y'all. Okay. It's not linear. It's not like, boom, I'm on a great path and I never have to change something again. No. Okay. But I support your whole body. I never, ever, ever focus on one system. Yes, we have specialists. We have gastroenterologists. We have endocrinologists. We have all these different people and they have their place. But here's the thing. Our bodies were designed to work together. Our circulatory system is not independent of our digestive system. It's not independent of our brain. It's not independent of our thyroid, our adrenals, like all these different things, okay? And I never, ever, 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 ever diagnose anything. Y'all come to me and you're like, I have X disease. I have heart condition Y. Cool. Guess what? Adrenal issues have the same symptom as thyroid issues, have the same symptom as gut issues, have the same symptoms as brain issues. Y'all, we share symptoms. All the systems share symptoms. So one symptom is never just a symptom and one issue. Okay? It's a whole mess of spaghetti is what I call it. Okay? But I find solutions. I don't stop until I do. People have over the years called me tenacious. Now, when you guys listen to my story, as we dive in deeper, you're going to be like, how in the world is she alive? And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back here. Although I'm learning to pat myself on the back because what I've been through has gotten me here today to be able to talk to you about this stuff and help you heal. Because so help me God, if someone else has been through what I've been through, even half of it, I'll do anything to make sure they don't have to go through that. When I said we cry and stuff together, we do. We do. So whether it's pain, whether it's fatigue, whether it's brain fog, whether it's autoimmune conditions, whether it's excess weight, you have sex issues, gut problems, I got you. Y'all are like my kids. I don't give up, right? Mama bears out there, we don't give up. We don't give up, okay? We cry, we laugh together, we push through, we heal together. You know, a lot of times, again, as a mom, like we learn a lot from our kids. Sometimes being a mom is actually the best thing ever because our real selves come out and our kids actually come along and support us along the way. So I learned from you guys too. We all need each other to heal, okay? But here's the thing, is we work on designing the best you that was meant to walk this earth and do great things, not so-so, not average, okay? I know it feels like that sometimes. You're like, I'm just getting through the day, Vennessa. I know how that feels. I know how that feels. You're like, is it done yet? Can I wake up tomorrow and it be a totally different day? And the reason I'm starting off this season with my story is because each person has their story. And why work with a practitioner who isn't vulnerable enough to share their story? Why work with any business person if they haven't been through what you've been through? Why work with a practitioner who hasn't felt similar to what you have? I might not have exactly what you have. I might not have had the same childhood as you have. I might not have that, but you know what? I've been through a heck of a lot, enough to be able to relate to you in some manner. And if you don't relate to me, fine, sign off now. That's not a problem. I ain't for everyone. I ain't meant to be for everyone. Okay, but I am meant to be for someone. Okay. So, there's other practitioners and medical professionals out there that can probably help you. Okay. But I know that from years of me jumping from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist, I think it was something like 15 of them in 6 years. This includes naturopaths and functional medicine practitioners too, by the way. I've noticed one recurring theme. And as I've uncovered it, it makes me pretty sick to my stomach, right? We're all about money, okay? We all want to do things naturally and what's best, okay? We don't make a living off of nothing. But you know what? If we all just took the time, right, and dove into someone's past and look at the stressors, usually hidden, okay? Making time for people, showing we care, not just pushing them off. Gosh, if people took that time, I know with me years ago, to understand why I could be experiencing some of the symptoms that I was, y'all, I wouldn't have been diagnosed with half the crap that I wouldn't have been put on all these medications, supplements, been in hospitals. Now, I can't change my experience in the past, but I can help jumpstart it for you by sharing with you what has worked for me and other clients and focusing on you. Okay, so let's start. Here's the fun part, y'all. You get to learn quite a bit about me. So it all started with when people around me noticed those so-called issues, right? This is around freshman, sophomore year of high school. I was running on adrenaline, right? That tenacity I talked about earlier. I was like, yeah, I got this. Oh, I have all this energy, blah, 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 right? It's kind of at that age, you do have a lot of energy in general, all the hormones racing, things like that, right? I was a volleyball player. I ran a solid 2 miles a day outside of the volleyball practice, rain, shine, snow, right? Chicagoland area, up at the crack of dawn, like no joke, like 5 a.m. That's what my family did. Like if you went up by 6 a.m., like you late for everything. Crashed hard at 8. Like usually going to bed without telling anyone. We'll talk more about that too. I fell asleep with my eyes open in classes. People are like, how'd you still get straight A's? I don't know. Would faint almost every time I stood up. I was nauseous during gym classes and volleyball practices. Never told a soul. Nope, I don't want to get kicked off. Nope. Being noticed, being on those teams at that right high school, it's important. I was a super skinny girl. I could literally eat anything I wanted, not gain weight. I craved anything sweet. I would lick frosting out of the container. Loved anything chocolate. When I was on my own, when I was living on my own for the first time, I would hide it for myself. Any of y'all done that? Hide the box of chocolate on top of the refrigerator. You know those little cabinets above the refrigerator? Like who uses those for anything? Anyways, I'd put my chocolate up there. But then when I remember that it was up there, it was game on. I'd be sitting on top of the refrigerator and I'd eat the whole damn box. Not gain weight, not get sick, nothing, right? I can eat an entire baguette, sometimes two, with olive oil, fresh Parmesan cheese, with salt, some spices. Yeah. I should not have done this episode before eating. But I was also known as the bossy one in my family, complained about yard work. But I also worked my butt off academically, playing classical piano and in sports. So you're like, Vennessa, why is any of this important to know? I'll tell you why. Okay. At the end of high school, my mom was studying to be a naturopathic, right? You're like, oh, cool. Like your mom's a doctor, like cool, right? Well, since I had most of the health issues, I was the guinea pig. Everything I did was scrutinized though, from what I ate to how much I ate to how much I exercised, lack of sleep, lack of work, working too much, not smiling enough, being sad, being depressed, wanting to be alone, being bossy, not working hard enough academically, not hard enough on my piano. Even the fact that I was accepted and attended a science and engineering academy that was within our school, our high school, then dropping out after 2 years on purpose because I just wanted to be normal was considered bad in my parents' eyes. Nope, you're not normal, Vennessa. Like you have to finish what you start. What if I don't want to, right? I would try to speak up for myself, but found myself in a constant dilemma of if I didn't speak up for myself, it meant I wasn't confident enough. And I wouldn't succeed in my career in life. But if I spoke up too much or even said anything sometimes, meant I was bossy and considerate of others. Yeah, I was legit told these things by the people who raised me. Multiple family members, okay? That was hard to hear. But here's the thing is my body had so much stress built up that some days I felt like I was going to explode, but I couldn't explode. That wasn't allowed in my family unit. Anger, frustration, tears, sadness, those emotions, those difficult emotions were reserved for the so-called adults in our home. Y'all, I don't know if you can relate, but I couldn't wait to go to college. So much that I turned down a partial scholarship to MIT Engineering School to attend Southern Illinois in Carbondale. Now back then it was labeled a party school, to be in their engineering technology program and minored in German. Now, it's not a bad school in any way, shape, or form. Many of you out there have graduated from both those schools, okay? But here's the thing, being in Chicago, Carbondale is the furthest downstate I could be away from home and still remain in-state for the in-state tuition cost because here's the deal. In my family, you had to work for your own stuff, so I had to pay for 95% of my schooling. I was 17 years old when I graduated high school and started college. Like, okay, here we go. So let's stop for a moment. I'm going to be very vulnerable and honest about my story, and for a good reason. Too many people hide parts of their stories just to get ahead of the game, to look better to others. And in addition, guys, others share too much about their story in hopes for pity. Like neither of those are my intentions. I want you to know that right now. Okay, sharing my story is important again for my healing and probably for yours. My intentions are to be open and to be honest with you so you know who you're dealing with. And you can relate in ways to me, and you can relate to me in ways that you need for your healing. Okay, so let's carry on. Okay, so let's enter in the college years. Health-wise, felt great. I would not in any way, shape, or form gain that freshman 15, right? I was a skinny girl. no matter what it took. Plus, I also didn't want to look like my mom and her side of the family, who did gain a lot of weight because they didn't take care of themselves. They just did the latest fad diet. Okay. So now I was running 3 to 5 miles a day, usually very early in the morning. I remember being at the rec center 6 days of the week, most mornings weightlifting with the ROTC group, and ensured I still got out with friends and had a job at the local restaurant, as I still did back home in Chicago. So I had a job in Carbondale. I also had a restaurant job back in Chicago because I was made more back in Chicagoland as a bartender and server. Okay. At the price of working, running and working out, taking 20 to 21 hours a semester at school, things happened to my body. I continued to let it run on adrenaline, right? That's what I told myself. I didn't have my period all throughout college. Seems like a great thing, but it was probably because I was eating the hyped up low-fat diets for athletes and runners. I got an internship within my degree and made sure I could have as much fun as possible while still having a 3.9 GPA. Again, I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm just telling you because this is a part of my story and it'll all make sense here as we further on in this episode and others, okay? What I am saying in all this is I was, quote, busy. My least favorite word in any language, by the way, seriously. I felt like I handled it all really well. I had a bunch of friends, met my husband now there in school, partied, who didn't in college, let's be real, okay? And was in and out of college with a very great degree in 3 years. All this came at a cost. 6 months before graduation, the internship, I was asked to state my own salary and come and work full-time for them. Plus, if I lived within 2 miles, so I could be called on for the shop, because I worked in a machine shop as an engineering technician, and then went on to be, we'll talk about that, but the owner would pay for the first 6 months of rent. I mean, as a new grad, naming your own price that you want to get paid, and you get the first 6 months of your rent that you basically, if you were smart with money, could use that to pay off your schooling. Boom, sweet deal, right? But here's the thing. I was still go, 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 go all the dang time. I was like the Energizer Bunny. And I actually thrived off people like telling me that. They would legit ask me what I was on. Guess what? I rarely drink coffee. I never touched an energy drink. I wasn't on any medication supplements other than what was called DHIS, which was an antihistamine supplement because my mom back then thought I had an allergy and histamine issues, which was related to my fainting, right? Makes sense. Maybe. Seems like I had a pretty awesome life, right? Paid off my school and a brand new car within a year and a half of graduating college. Had a sweet townhouse all to myself, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, no debt, killer job where I literally created my own position and was well on the way to becoming the general manager of a machine shop that at that time was grossing $2 million and on its way that next year to $5 million. Learning all the things. Every department I had worked in, people loved working with me. Well, in just under 2 years after graduating, they went downhill. I was still waking up to work out before being at the office by 6:30 in the morning because that's how I was raised. As an engineer in the machine shop world, in any world basically, you need to be there before the start of shifts to help with the changing of the guard basically. And I had to stay until second shift was well on its way. We had 3 shifts at that shop. 3 shifts at that shop. But I had to make sure I was there for second shift because it was, make sure it was on its way and things were communicated. Because I spoke Spanish, I was able to communicate clearly to some of these guys what needed to happen. But after I worked out in the mornings, it was early, right? How many of y'all work out in the afternoon after work? You're like, oh, I don't want to. Or if you do, you have too much energy to fall asleep, right? Well, I was like, I just want to get it done over with in the morning. I got to move my body. I'm at an office or I'm walking around the shop all day, blah, blah, blah. But after I worked out, I felt drained. Drained. I even felt drained 10 minutes after waking up each morning. I thought, okay, maybe I need a few days off work. other than just, the chilling and whatnot. Maybe I need to do some creative things other than engineering stuff like paint, or maybe play my piano. Maybe just watch some TV at home, something, right? Not go out and do and all the things, right? It's hard for me. Type A personality, you're like, right? Driven, tenacious, I gotta do something. I thought something was wrong with me if I didn't do something. So I did. I was like, okay, Vennessa, it's one long weekend, right? It's a nice, relaxing weekend. But then when I got back in the grind of things, I still felt absolutely exhausted. Like, man, bills got to be paid. So I kept going. I was starting to invest in stuff. So I sought out one of my mom's doctor friends. I went to a general practitioner who ran basic labs and said, everything's normal, Vennessa. And we always joked over the years. We would say, every time Vennessa gets tests run, she complains about all these symptoms and things like that. People thought I was joking around, that my body would just bounce to normal for that moment during the test taking and then go back to its regular symptoms. But how many of you have heard that before? Like, labs come back, things are normal. Like, maybe it's all in your head. I was told also that I just needed to tone down my activities and get more rest, not to be so, quote, driven at work. Legit, that's what that doctor said. I was like, really? Really? Okay. I told him my concerns about not getting my period too. And he's like, I can't believe he told me this, but he goes, let's just put you on birth control. Things should level out after 3 to 4 months on the pill. And if not, you know what? You probably weren't meant to have kids. I was like, whoa. And no joke, it took me a couple months to have that settle with myself. I might have to adopt. If I haven't had my period this long, this doctor's probably right. And then I get put on birth control and then I don't get my period still. I gotta trust this guy. He went to medical school and he's been doing this for 20 some years, right? So again, I am not here, side note, to dog any medical professionals. Okay, so many of them have used their education and experience to help others, typically in life-saving scenarios, right? Some of us wouldn't be here today if we didn't have them. But what I want to make abundantly clear is that medical professionals have to be very careful about what they tell their patients. We come to you for a reason. Sometimes symptoms are so debilitating, so chronic. It stops us from living an abundant life, okay? Let alone just a daily life, okay? Again, symptoms, although incredibly common, are never normal. Symptoms are our body's way of telling us something inside of us needs help. And I know so many of you have heard this, your lab results, they're completely normal. They're in range. Here's a prescription for X. Go get some extra rest. Or it's all in your head. Look, the lab results are normal. There's no way you're experiencing that. You just had a baby. It's just part of the process. Or, you know what? Don't worry. Give it some time. Things will feel better again. You're just stressed. Y'all, these responses and so many others I've heard are completely unacceptable in my opinion. People matter. As a holistic health professional, heck, any medical professional, it's our job to put people first. Patients trust us with their bodies and their minds. Okay, off the soapbox for a little bit. So back to my story. I trusted that doctor. He came highly recommended to me, so I believed him. But I also came back to him in 2 months because I was getting worse. My period didn't come back, and I was scared. And that's where we're going to stop today. I don't want to make these long episodes, but I want you to come back and to find out what happened on my health journey next. Okay, I want you to listen to part 2. And make sure you share this episode with anyone who can relate. Okay, and I'm always here to help. Okay, if you need more clarity, you want to figure out what your body's trying to tell you through all of your symptoms, I encourage you to get on a free call so I can help you not spend all the time and energy and money that I have for the past 15 years and get right down to the root cause of what's going on and how to take control of your own health. Okay, The link to the free call is in the show notes. There's other free resources there as well. Don't wait. Okay, don't wait. But until next time, let's keep uncovering the root causes of your symptoms and designing the best you that this world so desperately needs.
Oh my goodness, what another amazing episode. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week on Designing the Best You. Make sure to visit our websites listed in the show notes where you can subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, any other feed so you'll never miss a show. And hey, while you're at it, if you found value in the show, we would appreciate a rating on iTunes. Go ahead, screenshot this episode, tag us, and share on your favorite social media platform so others can find us too and get the help that they need. If you want to learn more, make sure you check out the show notes where you can find links to our pages, as well as the opportunity to sign up for a free call with Vennessa. We cannot wait to see you on the inside. And remember, keep on designing the best you from the inside out.